just a very simple sequence. You've got clips, MIDI, and CV. We've used only drum kits up to this point. What we have right now, let me turn that up a bit. Okay, I don't think we're clipping. Okay, so we're gonna add a bass line on here. So I want to show you guys how to do that. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a empty track. We're going to select which kind of program we want to work in, and this time we're going to use the key group. Oh, doesn't want to recognize my little stylus. Okay, so now we're in a key group, and I'm going to create a new one, and this is the part that I wanted to kind of focus on a little bit today, is organization. I want to be better at using all of my equipment. That's what this is about. But I feel like I always learn more when I'm participating in the knowledge process, either teaching or actively being taught. I'd love to learn from you as well. So, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and I'm just glad to have you as part of the team, to all those new subscribers. So, back to this. I'm going to name this, I'm just going to name it bass, and that's how you name it, is you just tap this pencil right here, and then you tap this bar up here, and then hit that X button, and now I'm just going to put in bass. And I don't even know what we're going to use yet, but that's okay. So now we've got our program labeled. We got to get something into this program. So what I'm going to do is go to Browse. This is your Browse button. So we're going to hit Browse, and then that's our browse to get us to the Mpc's search bar. And up top here, okay, that's pretty simplistic right there. I'm going to load that. That's a melodic. This thing, I have a little trouble getting that. So we're going to load that. Now I'm going to go back to the main screen to go into our program edit. It's over here. This is our program edit button. So this is going to take us into the program for the key group. And you can see here, there's nothing in there. Well, all we did when we went into the browse was send that one bass sample into the pool. So it's in here, it's just in the pool. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up that melodic. I kind of like that one better, even though it was already in the pool. So I'm going to use that. So now I've got that. I'm going to go back into our main screen. Okay. Okay, now we've got the regular, just a kick and a snare, basically. Okay, let's go ahead and record that. So that's a basic bass. It's programmed into track number 7, and I'm going to label that thing. That's our bass line. Okay. All right, so we got our bass line. Turn it down just a little bit. Another thing I'm going to do is trim. Ooh, that's nasty. We don't want that. Okay, sorry about that. Jeez, that's a, they should do something about that. So what I actually want to do is I want to put a little bit of a filter on this. So I'm going to go to Program Edit, and then you got this filter right down here. Filter envelope, and then up in the left hand corner there's a filter section. It says type and it says off, so I'm just gonna turn it on, and I'm gonna put just a low pass, just a simple low pass, and I'm gonna let it play, and I'm gonna adjust it while it plays so you can hear what difference it makes. So what it does, as you can tell, obviously, is that it takes off some of the high end and allows just the low end to push through. And that's a balancing act, because you can actually go too far. And, you know, if I take all that out, now our bass line and our kicks are kind of in the same area. So they're fighting for space. So I'm gonna keep it up a bit, just a little bit. And I like bass. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm into when I'm making music, is I want to make a nasty bass line. And that's pretty much my thing, is I just love the sound of bass. That's why I got all this analog stuff around, because the sound of raw oscillators and filters, there's just nothing like that.
I hear it 2 floors up.
She has to hear it all the time. Okay, and put an effect on it. We can actually change the way that it creeps in by adjusting the attack. This is the filter attack. This is, oh sorry, that's the filter attack. This is the amp, so I'm gonna bring up the filter just a little bit. There you go. Now you can hear what it's doing. These are just you know, editing basics, sound design basics. So your attack is just going to bring the sound in gradually, instead of having it come in right on time. Change the parameters. So as it plays, bring up the dry wet a bit. It's actually really too much, because the bass is already kind of a filling kind of sound. Program, and then there's effect slots for the track. So I mean, you can really do a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna put it on the program, and let's pick a different one. I'm gonna put a delay. I'm gonna put a delay. Go back. Gonna hit shift, hit this button, program, and then we're here. We're back where I was, and then insert 1. Should be able to change that. So these are different for the delay, different parameters for the delay. So we can put feedback and time. So I'm gonna put feedback here on this one. So feedback is here, and then time. Oops, that's why. Okay, and then time there. Okay. So now you can hear that. Let's see. Okay, now I can adjust it. wanted to record that as an automation, I'll show you how to do that real quick. So at the top of the screen, oh, you can't see it, so let me go top of the screen. There's this little white button right here. It has 3 functions. So right here in the white, what it's going to do, it's going to play back your automation as you've recorded it or as it sits in the track itself. If you tap it, it's going to turn red. Now it will record any automation that you have. Then if you tap it again, it turns it off. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just see if we can just record a little bit of that automation that was just playing. Yep. Okay, we do. Sorry about that. Looks like we're good. And we'll carry on. Okay. So we got some automation put in, just something simple, just to show you how to do it. We put in a baseline using a key group program. And the key group program is the piano style icon. And then you got your plugins and your drum program, your clips, your MIDI, and your CV. So I'm gonna pull up another track, and then we're gonna take a look at the plugins. Plugins are basically synth engines that Akai has provided us with. We've got a tube synth, we've got a hype, we've got an electric, and a bassline synth. And there's some pretty decent stuff that you can do. I don't normally use the plugins within the Mpc X because I have an Akai Force, and you know, I'll be doing some of these on the Force as well. But this is how you change the different patches. And we'll play something to see if we can find a suitable patch. Whatever, we'll just do it. And then, if you want to adjust while it plays, you can just adjust stuff. Mess with the width. Plugins, and I think what I want to do real quick is tell you what we have for other options within these. You know, just we did quickly look at these sequences. The sequence. Wait, am I in the sequence field? Okay, so yeah, the clear is different from the erase. The erase just gets rid of the content that you've put in there, but keeps the keeps the structure of it, but erases any of the stuff you've recorded. The transpose, that's how you can bring your octaves up and down. Your bouncing to sample, I don't use that much. I'll have to get into that a bit more to explain it properly. And then if you want to delete bars, I mean, these are things that you can do to fine-tune your productions and to make it life a little bit easier on yourself. If you want to insert bars, you want to cut the bar length, the sequence length in half, or double it really quickly, you can do that. And then your copying is what we're going to do now. So we've got this, and then it's what, 4 bars. Okay, so it's 4 bars, and what I want to do is I want to copy this. So I'm going to copy this sequence, and then I'm going to copy it from 1, and then I'm going to copy it to number 3. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it to 3, and I'm going to change this to 3, and then, wait, I'm fighting this camera to try to keep it in focus, guys. I apologize. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to copy it again, and I'm going to bring this one to number 4, and then I'm going to, oh, what did I do wrong? Okay. Oh, that seems fine. Yep. Okay, so the reason why I did that, now I've got 3, whoops, I've got 3, 4, and 5, all identical, and basically now we can just take this and we can add something to the 4th one, or we can take something away, or we can go up an octave. So with this synth, we can, let's go up an octave. So we're going to transpose here. We're going to go up 4, and now, okay, that's a bit much, so I'm going to go to 2. Yeah, that doesn't sound right, so we're just going to leave it where it was, and then we can adjust it in the editing portion. So we're just pull in program edit, and then there's all of these parameters. Like I said, I don't use a lot of these in the X because I got the force, but I'm going to take the octave down a bit and see what that does. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So I think a lot of people assume that when something is out of tune that it was done by mistake, and in my case it's absolutely done on purpose, because I appreciate that old school 80s feel, 70s feel, you know, like VCR tape when it's kind of like, it kind of like oscillates back and forth, and it sounds like the tape is like about to break, or your VCR is about to die or stop. I like that sound. I like to try to recreate that sound. We got this sequence, number 3, and then it'll go into 4. Interesting. Okay, so when you change to a duplicated track, a duplicated sequence, it's actually gonna change the parameter, load another version of that same plugin. Okay, that still works. So I'm going to mute that one. I'm going to go to another one, and that one is called Zing. Okay. That gets it ready for the next one. It didn't. I think I skipped over it. Okay. we go. Okay. So now we've got two separate song parts, and I talked about song parts and just explained how in the first Mod Boss about how song parts, you know, an intro, a verse, a hook, those are just basically how Mpc, what they call sequences. So the song parts are divvied up using sequences. So we've got a couple different song parts now, and mute things. That's another thing you can do. You can also use audio tracks. You got, you know, lots of different layering, lots of different things you can do. Let's see. Now, if you like piano roll, if that's something that is, you know, we can get into that stuff. But so your tracks, and you know, whoops, let's go back here. Your tracks, when you play your tracks, you're going to see everything light up in any of those fields that you've put tracks, any recordings into. And if you wanted to perform things from this area, you could. So, heading back over here. That's not that. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, I forgot what I was talking about there. But yeah, so you've got other places that you can enter in notes besides a piano roll. And for me, I'm normally just a MIDI keyboard guy, or a you know, using the pads to perform. And then down here is your XY effects, and you know, these you can enter in different parameters. And then, like, if you wanted to go into and put, you know, this by default is a beat repeat with a low pass filter, and so you can kind of see. So if you want to change that to something else, what might be cool is to have that on the synth track. Never labeled that, so I'm gonna put synth 1. I gotta get better at organizing myself. Okay, if that's the way you like to work and you want to perform things in real time, you have that ability to do that as well. So okay, let's see. Did I probably was all over the place. I gotta find a way to stick to a script of some sort, and I'll get there. So, how's it look? Is that about it?
Yeah, I think that's about it. Q says, "What's up, Will?"
Oh, what up, Q? Good to see you, bro.
And the bangers from beneath. Yeah, dope, drop a beat. Says.
Cool. Yeah,
Sorry,
man.
I'm the worst hype man ever.
No, it's fine. Yeah, she's just here to read stuff. Anna Brown? I said, yeah. Yes. She's my wife. She's of Indian descent.
You're white.
And I'm white as shit.
You're white.
Okay. Oh yeah, I set this thing up to do this, and I never even did it. Yeah, so we got this. As far as, you know, everything else goes, I think we're pretty much there for today. I don't know time-wise where we're at, but I don't want to drag this out. I respect your guys' time. So next week, if I, you know what, I did actually get a couple requests. Big Will, I appreciate you, bro. I know you've been working on your Mpc Live, and you've been putting in a little bit of time. Let me show you real quick. Big Will, if you want to, I did talk about this, but specifically for you, you're gonna want to go in, and you're wanting to sequence your tracks. You're wanting to copy your sequences so that you can export them for a song. That's what I understand. So this is where you're going to want to go, right over here, my friend. You see this pencil? You're going to hit that, and then you're just going to go to where it says copy sequence. And I'm going to zoom in on, or sorry, I'm going to bring that into focus. So you're going to hit, you need to do a very specific video covering song mode. because I don't want it to confuse anything else that's going on. So there are videos out there where you can look to get your song mode, your song mode tutorials and stuff if you want. I can put one in the description. I also did put a couple other videos in the description that can help you out. Real manual. This isn't PDF, but I did put a PDF in the description. So we've got a lot to go over, and what I'm doing.
Page are we on?
What I'm doing is I'm kind of taking it piecemeal. I'm taking in a few. So we ended up here on. Let's see. Can I use that? Oh, I can kind of use that. Let's see here. Bad idea. Don't freelance on a live chat. Okay, so this is where we went over our tracks. This is where they discuss your tracks and how they work. I think I explained it much better than them. Okay, and our song. This is your pool, your sound. So that's what we're doing here. Is we're just going to go through and either I'll get in touch with you. You can get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook. You're on YouTube, and I'll get back to you and we'll connect. So there was another question that I had, and I can't remember what it was now. Yeah. So